Well, thank you guys for hopping on. Really appreciate it. Wes has some things that he wants to share tonight, but before he gets into that, I just wanted to quick go over we're going to talk about Team Cup for a few minutes, and then also the coaching sneak peek. So that is in 1 week. I don't have specific details like what time or anything, but me and Susan and Caitlin are going to be running that. And so we were talking about it yesterday, and what we decided to do was we decided to make it like an event instead of just a Zoom call. So it's going to hopefully be opening like tomorrow. Hopefully Caitlin will get it open. But she's going to open up an event, and it's going to be public. So as we're posting in it, people are going to see it so they can join it. And they can just like see like what's going on and, hopefully spark some curiosity. But just like a couple days like leading up to the event, we're going to have some people going live in the group. Summer is going to be going live in the group. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to have Jennifer is going to go live and talk about challenge groups and, how that made her want to coach. And I've asked Ginny and Vanessa to share about, how their first month they, helped 3 people. They made, $120 right off the bat. Like that could really help out a lot of people, because sometimes, we get hung up on like, well, Summer Tucker makes $70,000 a month. And that's like, people can't even fathom that. That's like more than most people make in a whole friggin' year. So just hearing that someone made $120 extra dollars in a month, like that's really encouraging. And that sounds so like doable. You know what I mean? So, mark your calendars for next Wednesday. Don't know what time yet, but I will post details as I get them. So you want to be inviting to that. Try to invite as many people to that as possible. I'm really excited about it because it's our first coaching sneak peek that we are actually doing. We usually like get in on Team Courage's, which are awesome, but I think it's really important for our prospects to see us and hear our stories and hear us talking about it. So it's going to be really good. And then I think that's all I had on that. Like I said, I'll post like as I get more information and add you guys to the event and everything. But really quick, it's August, so that means it's Team Cup month. This is a lot of people's first Team Cup. So, not a lot of people like have done one before. But basically, I mean, it's just an event to help you grow your business. It's nothing different than what you're doing now, but you should really push yourself to do a little bit more. It's really fun that we're doing it as groups. And I mean, there are prizes for, if you hit Success Club 5 and above, yourself. And then there's prizes if, your team hits Success Club 5 and above, like if each person on your team hits it. So it's really just fun to like really work together as a team. It's basically a challenge group for your business. And we know that challenge groups work. We do them every month. We know the accountability is what makes people thrive. So it's basically just that, but for your business. So really just take advantage of it and make goals. Like, if you want to hit, Success Club 2, each week, or even Success Club, 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever each week, then, figure out how many people you need to invite and just do it. It's like meant to be this fun push, a little friendly competition. Team Brave has enough people for 2 teams. If you're not on a team and you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it because we're already registered. So you'll get in on the next one. But we have the Quad Killers, and then we have Team Braver, who's trying to show us up just by their name. So anyways, you guys better watch out. So I'm
going places.
Yes, Wes and I are like 2 rubies going head to head. We're like in it, man. So yeah, I think that's all that I had on that. What? Oh, but yeah, just make goals for yourself and just really use this as a push, for your business. And it's really just you doing the basics and the vital behaviors and just doing them a little bit more, doing a little bit extra. If you're forming 2 people a day, form 5. If you're sending 2 invites a week, send 5 or 6. You know what I mean? It's just like, do a little extra and just see how far you can go. Like, it's meant to be fun, and it's meant to grow your business. So, Wes, are you done?
Almost done.
He's writing down his final thoughts for what he wants to share.
Thank you.
He is so last minute. It is ridiculous.
It's been a busy week.
Oh. So, does anyone have any questions about Team Cup while we have a second, since Wes is just over there? Where's my chat? Oh, there it is.
You can pull the chat on your phone too.
So yeah, if anyone has questions, go ahead and just type them out while we're waiting for Wes. Are you done?
Almost done. Tell me about UK hashtags on Instagram.
Oh, and also a reminder, we're launching in UK in October. So if you are searching for people on Instagram, look for just British hashtags, like UK stuff.
Mom life.
Yeah, instead of doing mom life, do mum life and just stuff like that. I've been trying to search for stuff, and I'm like trying to think of like clever stuff, because when you just like hashtag like UK, it's like a lot of people like visiting the UK, so it's not necessarily like United Kingdom people. Because I mean, like, I don't hashtag my stuff American. You know what I mean? So like people are gonna hashtag their stuff like UK. So yeah. So yeah, definitely be doing that. If you can get a head start on that and start adding follows on Instagram for that, I think that will really be huge. There's some big event in September that's just kind of, it's like a summit, a UK summit, like for the launch and stuff. So they're telling us that, tell people to go register for that. So you done?
No.
Come over here. Okay, he's going. Sorry.
All right, what is up, you all? I am sorry for my tardiness.
Last minute. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I had to bust out Speed 35, which I really hate, by the way.
It's a tough one.
When I say hate, I mean like it's a good kind of hate, but gosh, it's such a burner. It's insane. Yeah. So I finished that like 20 minutes ago, and you should have seen. I had to change clothes. It was so bad.
It was bad. I came crawling up the stairs in agony.
I did.
Drenched.
I did. Well, I was working on my notes, the scribblings of a madman here. So I appreciate you guys being on. Like I said, we'll post this in the team page. But my initial idea with this meeting, we're not meeting, are we? Okay, good. Can you imagine we did a whole call?
God. I hope someone would tell us.
I hope so too. All right. So my initial idea for having this meeting was just, pardon me. When you drink Shakeology and you get that patch of dry powder and it just kind of coats your throat. Sorry, guys.
Better?
Yeah. So my initial idea for sharing this was just to kind of share what I'm going through and even some of my own like weaknesses and what I've been doing. So the title of this call is going to be, are you fighting for your why? Okay. Are you fighting for your why? So this kind of relates back to what I posted in the team page earlier in the week, where I wanted everyone to kind of share their whys. And we're still doing this. I've heard from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 people, 6 comments, and then yours and mine. So about 8 of the 13. So if you guys have coaches that haven't done it yet, just remind them to go back to that post. Just find the post where I was asking everyone about their why. I want to have a bulletin or whatever you want to call it that has, our names and our whys listed right out. And a lot of our whys are going to be similar, but for 2 reasons. Number 1, accountability. We're putting it out there for our team to see. this is the reason I am showing up every day and doing this. These are my goals. These are the reasons I'm doing this. Okay. And that's, you're putting it out there. When you keep it to yourself, you don't really have anyone to keep you accountable. But the whole point of having a team is so we can work together, at our goals. Imagine a football team that just had one person on it and they're going up against the whole team. Well, that person has no one to help, no one help them. No one's got his back. So we want to do that because we're a team. If you, like I said in the post, if you see me not showing up and working on my goals and my why, you better call me out on that. I don't care if we're upline or downline or however you want to look at it. A team does that. A team is there for each other. And secondly, it's just a matter of being, vulnerable and just coming out and saying, you know what, this is why I'm doing that. So that's why I want to do that. So, and just remind everyone to go back and do that. So I also wanted to just tie it into kind of our call this evening. So as I was writing the post, as I was kind of listing out our why, it kind of struck me, am I fighting for my why? We can talk about it and we can listen to team calls and we can listen to trainings and we can do all of these great things and we can even push play and do our workout and drink our shake. But, that's only a part of it. There's a lot more that goes into fighting for your why. When that alarm clock goes off, you have a few options. You can either just ignore that or you can get up, start grinding and start going after it. So it's been challenging me and just kicking my butt this week. But I wanted to just share this. So a couple of the things. So, first off, our vision, which you guys probably know, I put it in the team page and I'll just speak for you on this because our goal is the same. So, the McCorkle why is basically this: to replace my full-time income through coaching with the goal of staying at home with my family and creating a life by design. That's basically our why. Mm-hmm. Agreed?
Yep.
So that's replacing a full-time job that provides for our family that I've been working at for almost 7 years. So we have, now that's a lofty goal. A lot of people have the goal of staying at home, but it's more our timeline. I mean, we're trying to do this in like a year-ish, year and a half. And people have done it. Single people have done it, like as in one person. So we're two people trying to do it. So it can be done. I don't know if we're going to do it, but I can't worry about that right now. All I have to do is, all I'm trying to do is focus on every single day. I can't get so focused on, our long-term goal that I lose sight of the day-to-day. I've shared this before, but when you do something like this, you have to be dual focused. You have to be focused on where you're going and what it takes to get there, but also on what you're doing every single day. You cannot be only focused on one or you will trip up and you'll lose it. You get burnt out and you're not focused on other things. Okay. So that's our why. So I wanted to just share a couple of the other ones that some of the team put. And thank you guys that put this in the page. I really appreciate it. So, you guys did a great job at like giving an explanation of your why, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm kind of paraphrasing just for time, kind of, putting the gist of it in there. So Kayla's one was to stay home with her kids, which is awesome. So to have a business where she can stay home with her kids. Jennifer, she started out just as a discount coach. I
love that discount.
Yeah, I think didn't you say that you asked her like several times and?
Oh yeah, the first time I invited Jen to coach was before she was even pregnant with her daughter, who's now 8 months. So it's so cool that she's here now.
Wow. So yeah, started out as a discount coach, but now our why is to help inspire and motivate other people. Mm-hmm. Huge.
And you freaking rock at it.
Yep.
By the way.
Agreed. Susie said the community was irresistible. Couldn't stay away from it. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, just the financial gain to earn extra money.
Who doesn't want that?
Yep, help out with the family.
And that's okay to say too. Don't feel selfish saying like, "I want money."
No,
we want money.
This is okay. This is a business.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, even we're helping people. It's still a business. We're not. It's not strictly out of the goodness of our hearts.
You're not volunteering your time and energy, like.
Yep. Amanda to stay home with her son, pay off debt, and eventually move out of their home and out of their town, and someplace where they want to go. So that's a huge one.
That's awesome.
Gabrielle to reclaim my health, motivate others, get out of debt, and provide for our family so her husband doesn't have to work third shift. Huge.
That's awesome.
A couple heavy things right there. Vanessa to help inspire older people, also the financial gain. Vanessa also kicking butt here.
Yeah.
Quick call out. Vanessa did a Google form, which is basically.
He was so impressed with you. He's like, "Did you see
I'm
Vanessa
so
do
impressed.
a Google form?" Like,
So,
dude, she's awesome.
If you're sitting there smiling, excellent job, because I spent like a whole afternoon doing that for Jordan. She
I don't even know how to do that.
So yeah, good job at like knowing how to do things she doesn't do. And that's okay.
My animal husband.
And you put it into a tiny URL, which is just impressive. That's
Awesome.
just my tech side coming out. So good job, Vanessa. So we have the two of us, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 8 people there. 7 because ours are kind of the same. So let's focus on these 7. Guys, these are some serious things here. Paying off debt, staying home with your kids so you don't have to work a job you may not like, reclaiming your health, inspiring a generation. These are big things. Like, these are serious. These aren't like make extra money for clothes, or like make extra money for going out on a Friday night. I mean,
which is okay.
Yeah, which is totally okay. But some people may have those small goals. So far, Team Brave have listed like game-changing goals. These are big things, okay? So my initial question is, are you matching your actions with what your goals are? If you have these lofty goals, they're not going to reach themselves. You're not going to get from where you're at to where you want to go unless you put in the work to get there. So my initial question, this is what punched me kind of right in the gut this week, because I had to kind of I just had to think about what I'm doing, making sure that it's matching what our why is. We've shared this before. We've done some crazy things. We've shared this before. We get up at 5 a.m. to work out, to do personal development together. But, this week, or actually towards the end of last week, we realized it wasn't enough. Our kids are waking up earlier and earlier, as kids will. We're doing more and more things with business. It wasn't enough. Jordan didn't have enough time in the mornings before the kids woke up, and I had no time to work on business before I got to work. And I've tried to do this business while I'm at my full-time job too. It's too much. What ends up happening is either I get too stressed out and burn out, or both end up suffering because I'm spreading myself too thin. So I want to be the best version of myself in everything I'm at. So if I'm at my job, I want to be focused on my job. When I'm doing business with this, I want to be focused on that. I don't want to spread myself too thin. So I'll work on my lunch break if we need to. So this week, we decided just to change things up. So this week, I started getting up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m., I get up. First alarm goes off at 3:50. I get up, I work for an hour. I go in to wake Jordan up, which is a whole process. We can spend a whole call on that.
Apparently, I'm like a corpse in the morning.
She is a corpse. So what I do, as a side note, we've talked about the Pep Talk app, which you guys should really get. It's amazing. So I go in at 5, after putting in a solid hour, and as
I'm sleeping through my alarm.
Yeah, she's I hear her alarm going for 10 minutes, and I go in and just pull up Pep Talk on her phone, plug in the headphones, and I just put the headphones in her ear, rip the covers off, smack her on the butt, turn on the light, and then I walk out. And then normally she wanders out at about 10 minutes later. So
usually let it play twice.
Yeah, it's worked out really good. So give that a shot.
Yeah.
So she gets up. Sometimes we just talk. Sometimes we'll do personal development. This is only the first week of doing it, but I wanted to share this. So it's not like we've been doing this for a month. We've been getting up at 5 for months, but we moved this up.
Sometimes you just gotta reorganize and change what you're doing.
Yep.
If it's just not working, you just change what you're doing.
You give up things. I'm giving up my workout partner. Now I go down and we do personal development from like 5:15 to 5:45, then I go down and work out, and then she starts working right after that right through to like when the kids wake up. So basically I'm opening up an hour in the morning to do business. She's opening up more time in the morning before the kids wake up. So it's a sacrifice. Guys, I'm getting up at 4. I hate that. Like no one does that. Crazy people do that. But
successful people do that.
But successful people do it too. If you look at the top 100 most successful entrepreneurs, you're going to find that most of them get up between 3 and 4 a.m., which is insane. I have no idea what time to go to bed. Some people just don't need sleep. Yes, she needs sleep. So now that's us. I'm not saying you guys have to do that. I'm only telling you that because it's important that you guys see us as leaders in this team really going after it, because I don't expect you guys to do anything that we're not doing.
And keep that in mind when you have teams as well. You know, some of you are starting to build your teams, but your momentum and your energy is what is going to be your team's momentum and energy. If you're just kind of like, whatever, like I'll show up when I want to show up, that's what your team's going to be. That is what you're going to duplicate. That's what your team is going to duplicate. And you're going to be left with a bunch of coaches who quit because they're like, this is kind of lame. So, you know, your momentum and energy is what is going to set the tone for your team. So it's really important that when you set a goal, like you do it, you actually go after it. You don't just say it because it sounds good and like, oh, I should probably have a really big goal. Like, you know what I mean? Like go for what you want.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, as your teams get bigger, you know, your teams, I mean, sometimes your team can pass you up. Like, you know, for example, like Summer, you know,
and that's fine.
She's much farther than her initial coach that signed up, but that's okay.
Way farther.
And that's fine, you know. But you know, your team is going to look to you and draw to you, and that's a huge responsibility. Having a team of people that decide to join you and join your cause is a big responsibility, and we take that super seriously. So you know, we both decided we just needed to step it up. You know, our actions weren't meeting, you know, our why. So to kind of piggyback off that topic, manage your time. So we had a conversation, was it yesterday or was it 2 days ago?
2 days.
2 days ago. So just about managing our time. So if you're doing this level of activity, it's very important that you guys stay focused on what you're doing and schedule things out. Okay. Make things a priority, put it on the schedule. Chad and Summer always talk about this. They sit out with their calendar we doing good on time.
Yeah.
They sit out and plan their whole week in advance, what they're doing every single night. And guys, we got away from that. And then what happens is, you know, I go to work and then we do business and then we do messages and then we put the kids to bed and then we go to bed and that becomes all it is. Mm-hmm. We weren't communicating. We weren't making time for other things, marital things. You know, like sex. We guys, we put it on the calendar. I could go get we have a big whiteboard calendar, and Tuesday night said sex, real big on the closet. Because
sometimes you gotta schedule it. Schedule the things that are important.
It's important. Look, it gets away from you. It really does. And things like that are important in a marriage. So, and also other things like, you know, movie night, or maybe it's like go to the park with the boys, or whatever it is. You know, what can happen is, you know, we get so focused on this, and we are both 100% guilty of this. That's why we're sharing it, because, you know, we want to just totally level. We had to reevaluate what we're doing, you know, and we're doing this, you know, but we scheduled out the week. Like I know we're going to her mom's this weekend on Friday night, so we can get up Saturday morning early and put about 4 or 5 hours in. We're going to go to Panera and just do like a work blitz. But we're putting it on the calendar. So schedule out your things. If morning is your thing where you get business in, then schedule your day to do it in the morning. If you guys have other things in the morning and you do evenings after the kids go to bed or whenever, that's fine. Schedule your evenings. Make sure you make time for family, for spouse, and interaction with your kids, because that's important. None of this really matters if you don't do that. So we had a conversation earlier this week, and that's part of the reason why, you know, I decided to just get up earlier, because I was trying to fit in, you know, doing business, you know, when I get home from work, and that was my time with the kids because they go to bed and I don't have much time with them. And that is, if I'm not doing that, it doesn't matter how successful we grow this team, how quickly we grow this team, or how quickly we reach our goals. So
make like a non-negotiable list and like just write down the things that you are not willing to sacrifice, like time with your kids. Like that's a non-negotiable for us. And it really helps you stay focused, because sometimes it's like, oh, like I'll just do this tomorrow. Like, but I really think it's important to like know what you're willing to sacrifice and what you're not willing to sacrifice, so that
Yeah.
you really stay focused and you don't like burn out. You know what I mean? If you're in a place of like being so focused on business that you're like sacrificing time with your kids, that, I mean, that's going to drain you. And then you're going to be like, oh, I don't like doing this anymore. And you never want to get to that place. This should never feel icky or draining or like, blech. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what happens is when you don't plan it out, both end up suffering.
Yeah.
Your business and your time with your family. And the opposite is true if you do plan it out. You can actually put more time into both because you had it planned out ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you need to work on during certain times. So just keep that in mind. If you don't plan it out, you're going to suffer on both fronts.
Yeah.
If you plan it out, it's going to become a priority and you're able to, accomplish everything you need to do. So that's been one of the things we've been at. That's like this week. That's this weekend and this week what we've been working on. Getting back to planning out our evenings, making things a priority, and just reevaluating everything. Like look at your day. Everyone has the exact same 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to with E.T. Eric
Thomas?
Yeah, Eric Thomas.
Oh.
Yeah, Pep Talk. E.T. And he said everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. The billionaire and the homeless guy in the street. It's all about how you use those 24 hours. No one has more time than anyone else, okay? So schedule out your 24 hours. Make priorities and then just crush them. I mean, that's really what we have to do. It comes down to that.
Kayla, the same thing happened to me like back when I first started. Like I felt like if I got a message, I had to respond to it like right away. Cause I'm like, I need to be reachable. People need to know that they can count on me, that I'm going to get back to them, that I'm going to help them. And like, in the evenings we'd be like watching a movie and I would just be on my phone and Wes would be like, could you like take a break? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that I was doing it. So that's why,
phones down. We watch TV.
Yes. If we're watching a movie, which hasn't happened in like 3 months, we're like, no phones. We like put them away because like you see, you get a message and like, yeah, sure. You're like, oh, like, what did they want? They would just check really quick.
John's back.
So yeah, just like really scheduling that time and, asking your husband like, hey, like, is it okay if you take the kids and I spend, just 30 uninterrupted minutes doing
Tell
this?
them about when I would take the boys.
Yeah, like sometimes if I get behind in messages, Wes will just take the boys to the park for like 30 minutes. Like I can do a lot with 30 uninterrupted minutes, like so much. I'm just like, bam, bam, bam. So like, just, and just like ask their permission because that's honoring them. And, they're going to be able to honor you and what you're doing and just appreciate what you're doing a little bit more.
Yep.
So,
yep. That's huge. Yep. So we talked about time, talked about goals. Did you have anything on any of this you wanted to share? Okay. And then I wanted to lean into the...
We've got 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay, cool.
Do it.
All right. So I wanted to just lead into the last thing, which is maybe one of the most important things. And I know that a lot of people on the team are doing a great job with this. So I may just be talking to myself, and that's totally fine, but I'll still talk about it. Messaging is probably one of the most important, if not the most important part of this business. I think working out is one of the easier things once you get it down. Drinking the shake is definitely easy.
Oh, yeah.
Even posting on social media is easy because you get good at that.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, I really started hard on the messages. And I'm a lot worse at it than I thought. I do sales professionally. Like that's what I do for a job. I manage a whole team of people who sell. And, and we are selling in this business, but it's different. I do phone sales. It's a totally different thing. So I certainly have some strengths, but I also have a lot of weaknesses. So this is just me, full disclosure on this. So so Monday I sent out Monday or was it Tuesday? It was
Tuesday.
The Monday, Tuesday. I sent out like 8 messages that day. And I've done some since then. So so I'm doing it, but it's hard. I'm having to force myself to kind of do it. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, when you like send it and put your phone down and then you're like, oh, they responded. Oh, what do I do now? So I know these are things that everyone goes through. Guys, I've spent probably, I would say, maybe close to 100 hours in the last 3 or 4 months listening to trainings and team calls and information about coaching and everything. Like I know a lot of stuff about this, because I had to try to catch up with her, who's been doing it for 2 years. So I didn't drag her down. I know a lot about a lot of the other stuff in the business. And that's okay to focus on that. But what I was doing was I was getting too much information and, more information and less doing. That's what I was doing. And when I needed to do.
What do I always say? You can listen to a million trainings, but if you're not taking action, it doesn't matter.
And I was taking action. I went from posting not at all on social media to consistently posting, trying to share my story, engaging in the team page. So I'm doing part of it, but it's like, it's a circle. You have to do all parts of it or it's not going to connect and it's not going to, it's not going to be whole. Your business is not going to be whole. So that's been my major focus this week. It's so important. Okay. So it's not an easy thing. And I know it's something that you get better at, you get more comfortable at. And it's not even like, I don't fear people saying no. I'm not afraid of, inviting someone to a challenge group or to coach and them saying no. Like I'm not afraid of the rejection. It's honestly just, getting past your own pride.
You have to get out of your own head.
Yeah. Like what are they going to think? How am I going to say this? Am I going to say it right? And just getting past that and just freaking doing it, like we all roughly know what to say. It's going to come across in your own version and stuff too. But, just, you're going to learn as you do it. I'm learning this week so much. I mean, I have started conversations so far this week with people I haven't talked to in over a decade. A decade is huge. And I'm not going right into the business. I'm not saying, hey, good to talk to you. Are you interested in our upcoming challenge group for health and fitness? I'm just connecting with them. Like, people, I'm two people I talked to, a decade ago. Now they have kids, like I haven't talked to them since then. So there's so much to relate to people, and then adding friends too. Adding friends is easier. I've added probably 30 friends this week so far on Facebook, and I've added some on Instagram. And so make sure you're doing that too, because if you don't have 2,000 people on your friends list like she does, you're gonna run out of people to talk to.
You have to keep your funnel full.
Yep.
I talk to a lot of people now that I don't know them personally. They're just people that I've added, and I've shown up on their pages and then they, reach out to me. So it's so important. I've had so many challengers that are just people that I've added.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And I'm in a conversation with a guy right now on Instagram. He posted a before and after picture. And then I shared it in the team, in our Team Cup group. I just, be sincere. Like if you're on Instagram or something, Instagram is a little different than Facebook, but I do like it. He posted a before and after picture. He lost like 20 pounds. And I said, wow, dude, I really relate to your story. This progress is awesome. I really appreciate you sharing your results, and then I just shot him a quick, direct message on Instagram. And I just said, hey, kind of a little bit more in depth. Hey man, I really appreciate that. You're sharing that. What have you been doing, and just kind of let him share and
ask questions. Summer posted a live video about that today, which we should all go watch right after this, but she's saying, ask more questions. And like, one of the examples she gave was somebody messaged her and was like, hey, you look so great. Like, what have you been doing? And like, we all, when we get a message like that, we want to be like, oh, I'm doing Ship Shop and I'm drinking Shakeology and I do challenge groups and you should do one with me. You know what I mean? We get so excited because we're like, oh, they're coming to me. This is so perfect. They'll like do anything that I tell them to do right now. But she's like, oh, I would love to tell you more about that. So how are you doing? She didn't even touch it. And that, I think that is so important because like, it's no matter what stage you're at, like if they're coming to you, if you're reaching out, it's all about connection. It's about asking questions, understanding where they're coming from, because like you can't help someone the best that you can if you don't know where they're at. If you don't know if they're working full time, if they stay at home with their kids, if their husbands work weird hours, you know what I mean? So you need to ask questions to see where they're at.
Yeah.
so that you can truly help them better, because that's what it's all about. Our business is about people.
Yep.
It's about connecting with people and helping them. So,
Well, and that's what, like with this guy on Instagram, like my initial message to him was a question, like, what have you been doing? I just wanted to hear from him, and he shared a great message back. And, I don't know how it's going to end up going, but that's not the point. The point is I told him eventually in the conversation that we run monthly challenge groups, and I'd love to get him some more information. And he asked for more information. I don't know what he's going to do, but that's not the point. Like, we engaged in the conversation. And
my forms, if that comes up naturally, I'll go with it. But it's not like every conversation has to end in you inviting them to something.
Yeah.
Which is something I had to drill into his head. He's like, when should I bring up the opportunity? When should I bring up challenge group? I'm like, don't. Don't. You're just connecting with them. You haven't talked to them in years. Like,
I'm learning that.
You know what I mean? So if you're just like, it was so great catching up with you, like, let's keep in touch.
Yep.
And then, if in that conversation, you're like, I really think that a challenge group could benefit them. Then, before challenge group starts in 2 weeks, just reach out to them, be like, hey, I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thought of you.
Yeah. We're doing this group, and I think that maybe you'd like it. Would you like some more information? Whatever, like, because you've already talked to them and you've built that trust. And some people, their walls are up. And if you're messaging them, they're like, they're trying to sell me. So if you just connect with them and then you're like, all right, great talking to you, and then that's it, they're going to be like, oh, like, they just wanted to catch up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're like, their walls come down then.
Yep.
We're going to run out of time.
That's okay. Do you want to hop back in if we cut off or what?
No, we're good.
All right. Yeah. So work on that, guys. I'm working on it. I'm in a group with Chad. He's doing the same thing I'm doing, and we're kind of keeping each other accountable. But make it a priority. Be willing to commit to be uncomfortable, do hard things. I'm doing it. She's doing it. We're
Growth
we're going
happens
for
outside of your comfort zone.
Kayla says that she sucks at messaging.
Well,
I suck at it
sucking.
too. Yeah. Well, hey,
Get better.
Let's stop sucking together. All right. All right. Well, we're gonna get cut off here in a minute, but just to end, guys, when you get up every day, like for those of us who went to Summit, Brendan Bouchard talked about, what is it? Did I live? Did I love?
Did I make a difference?
Did I make a difference? So, and I would just add to that, did I give my why, its due worth? Did I fight for my why? Did I put in the time? Did I make it a priority?
Mm-hmm.
So every day when you get up, just, look at your end goal and just make sure your actions are matching what it's going to take to get you there. That's really what we have to do, every single one of us, or we're not going to get there. These goals are there for a reason. They are reachable. Every single one of you could be a superstar coach. We have complete confidence in every single one of you. And, keep fighting for your goals, guys. All right.
All right. Thanks again for hopping on, and we will talk to you guys later.
All right. We'll post it in the group. We'll post a recording. So
bye.
Have a good night.